One-pass cleaning versus industry standard cleaning. I know it's hard to believe we're even having this conversation, but unfortunately I got a phone call recently and a carpet cleaner asked me, "Hey Rob, is one-pass cleaning okay?" First thing I said, "Really, is this a joke?" He said, "No, I actually saw a video and this guy gets on YouTube and Facebook and he says one-pass cleaning is okay in certain situations." I said, "Listen, first thing I want to tell you is one-pass cleaning is not professional. It's actually unprofessional, and it's actually hack cleaning. So I want you to go ahead and forget about all that you've seen. And remember, a lot of these guys have actually worked for bait and switch companies, and many times they pick up a lot of those bad habits and techniques and they bring them into their own company. And that brings the whole industry standard down. But we want to keep that industry standard up. So first of all, what is one-pass cleaning? Generally, it's just one clean stroke and no dry strokes. What is the industry standard? It's generally one clean and two dry strokes. So 2 dry strokes for every clean stroke. Okay? Now what I want to do is I want to take a look at both. So we're going to go back into the school here. I'm going to give you a demonstration of both. Then we're going to come back in here, break each one of them down, and I'm going to show you the pros and cons of each. Okay, for demonstration purposes, I've gone ahead and chose Rob's Secret Formula, which is 99% green, because my carpet is nylon in here in the school and it's not that soiled, okay? Instead of using BioPro or spiked, all we need is a little bit of this. Now what I've done is I've apportioned off a 5 foot by 5 foot area here and a 5 foot by 5 foot area over here to show you both techniques. Let's take a look. Okay, first I'm going to show you what some people call one-pass cleaning. They might start at the top and come on back. Okay? And they might do long areas. I don't recommend that. I like to keep it around 3 feet. And then they might start another one and come back. They might overlap, they might not. One-pass cleaning generally means not. So lift it up and start another one. Okay? That's bad in itself if you're not going to do any dry strokes, but you're also flooding back here in the back. Notice right back here it's getting flooded. Now, here's the other way people do it. Just like this. Okay? Now, let's move over to here and let's see the proper industry standard. So you're coming back with it. Now there's all different types of ways to do strokes, okay? I like to, before I get to the very end, or wherever my imaginary line is going to be, let's suppose it's right here. Let's suppose it's right about here, okay? I'm going to cut the water off now and then come on back. And I'm going to overlap that section. All right? Now some people will turn the water on and go back and forth with it. That's entirely up to you. I'm not a fan of it. I do like overlapping each stroke. So I'll gently lift it up and overlap the next stroke. And come on back. Okay? And then when I get a couple inches from my imaginary line, I'll go ahead and cut it off and overlap it. That way I don't have any flooding going on back here in the back. Lift it up, overlap the stroke again. That way I'm kind of getting a double cleaning, right? So if you're going to go double cleaning, how many dry strokes are you going to need? And I usually like to go 1 second per foot. So it's Mississippi 1, Mississippi 2, Mississippi 3 basically when you're doing a 3-foot pattern. That's generally what I'm going to be doing. Notice I cut the trigger off, go a couple inches. Okay? Now you can if you want to, some guys will, go over halfway, cut the water on, and come back and forth because they feel like they're still picking it up. That's totally up to you. There's different ways of doing things. The key is, if you're going to do it either way, is now you've overlapped, you want to do plenty of dry strokes. Okay? And what do dry strokes do? Now, notice I'm only going to that one section, but you're better off to come on and overlap. Just remember where you overlapped at. I generally have an imaginary line somewhere. So up and down. Then I'm going to do it again. Okay? That's one dry pass. Now I'm doing a second dry pass. And we're going to talk about the pros and cons of each in a second. Notice through my sight glass of the TMF1, I am still pulling up some moisture. And if I find I'm still pulling up some dirt, I might even go and clean it again. It's entirely up to me. Each carpet is unique and individual. I see a little more soil still left in there. Maybe a little bit of cleaning agent. So I'm going to take my time, never in a rush. And you can cut it on the way forward. You can leave it on the floor, that's up to you. But notice, just want you to see how I'm cutting it off here, right at the very end, and hopefully it'll push up on the camera. Notice how it flooded back in there. That's because you got to cut the trigger off and overlap. So watch me trigger it this time. I'm going to cut off into my stroke, and now for a couple of inches, I'm going to get rid of that, even if I'm using the water both ways or just one way. Here I am, cut it off, a couple of inches. The key is make sure that you clean this area, okay? That you remember you overlapped it. But this prevents the carpet from getting over wet. All right, now let's go up front and let's completely break this down so you can see clearly the pros and the cons for each, and it'll help you raise your standard and hopefully your repeat business. Okay, so I gave you a clear visual back in the back. Let's just address it one more time real quickly and then we'll conclude. Now you notice on this side right here, I was doing the one pass cleaning. And one way I was just going backwards only, okay, and then I was just doing a triangle. Now what's the two main problems with this? Number one is residue. You're leaving a lot of chemical and a lot of dirt residue behind if you're not dry stroking and rinsing properly. You really want to take the time and do both of those, especially in this day and time when so many people are using dangerous or hot pH pre-sprays. I know some guys are using products that have sodium hypochlorite, caustic soda, lye, all kinds of stuff in there which can leave nasty burns. It can blind you, it can do all kinds of things to you. It's bad for your lungs. And are you really going to leave this behind for customers' pets? And worse yet, their children? So it's a terrible thing. So you really want to take your time and do it correctly. Plus, cleaner carpets stay cleaner longer, and they also dry faster. If you're leaving soap residue behind, just like leaving soap in your hair, it's going to take longer for it to dry. And it's also going to resoil and be a resoil nightmare very fast. Also remember back here, if you don't take the time and extract that little extra right back in there, that little lip I was telling you about, what's going to happen is those lines are going to show up as brown streaks. Also, you can lead to browning, wicking, all kinds of issues. Now we move over here, this makes a big difference. But before I do that, I want to express one thing. If you really think about it, it's also very dishonest. The client is paying for a complete clean, but instead she's getting a partial clean. So really, how could you sleep at night knowing that you did a halfway job versus a full job? This side hasn't been cleaned yet. Yes, it looks okay to the visual eye, but we all know what's left behind, the damage it does, and it really hurts your business. It hurts the whole industry all the way across. So remember, your customer deserves what they pay for. The industry deserves what they pay for. Now, when you move over to here, let's see if I can slide it over here and get this. Okay, over in here, slide it back just a bit. Now, you notice over in here, I took my time and I made myself a little visual imaginary line, and at that line I went ahead and I cut the solution off and I went ahead and went over top of it and overlapped it. That way I don't have this strip of high amount of moisture right there leaving behind, wicking down to the bottom of the carpet into the padding, causing wicking, browning, and resoiling. You don't want that to happen. Also, it's a good idea to overlap your strokes. Now, I didn't take the time to show you all different types of strokes. I'll be glad to do a follow-up video on that. I just wanted to give you a basic demonstration of how when you do one pass cleaning versus one pass, 2 dry strokes, and a good thorough rinsing makes a huge difference. The customer gets their money's worth. You end up getting repeats and referrals. The carpets stay cleaner longer. You have happier clients. Everything works to your advantage, and you're going to find out you're going to have a good, solid business for a long time. And so listen, if you find you don't have enough time, because it takes a little more time to do it correctly, if you find you don't have enough time, perhaps you need to revisit your business model. Maybe raise your prices. Maybe do less jobs in a day. Whatever it takes, never do one pass cleaning versus one pass, 2 cleaning strokes, and take the time, maybe overlap depending on how soiled the carpets are. I'll go over that a little bit later in a date, but make sure you take the time and really clean and flush the carpets properly. Get all those products out of there. Remember, when you're using our products, ours are safer, they're stronger, and they're just better solutions. They're healthier for you, the customer, their pets, their children, everything. And they actually do a fantastic job. A lot of manufacturers will take a shortcut and use the more dangerous and hazardous products because they can make so much more money off of it. Where we'll search out and buy the absolute best products. So if you don't mind, we're a father and son business. Take the time, do the jobs correctly. If you'll support us at tmfshop.net, Go to our Facebook page, look up Cleaning Professionals, and you'll find us at Truck Mount Forums, also at truckmountforums.com. And if you don't mind, subscribe to our YouTube channel and look up the channel. And whenever a new video comes up, it'll send you an email and you'll get an alert. I'm Rob Allen with Truck Mount Forums. Have a great day.